Oh!
Guys, kind of a big deal videos. Paul here. Gonna make another Kevin Levrone video today. So, reason being, I just got off the live video feed with Kevin. He's been having these interactive chat sessions, and they've been super interesting. And every time I watch one of his videos, I get a better idea of his position as to where he's coming in and what he's doing to prepare for the Olympia. Now, he's very ambiguous about everything, but if you read between the lines, we can really tell what Kevin's doing and have a better understanding of his approach. Now, a couple of points. Kevin has been emphasizing that he's bringing in conditioning. And shout out to Kevin, and thank you very much for mentioning me, because I think I read between the lines, and in today's chat, I asked if he was going to bring crazy conditioning like we've never seen before. And I think he said, Paul, damn straight, or something like that. And I said, sick, I can't wait to see your conditioning. And he said, thanks, Paul. So yeah, that's my moment. I'm really happy about that. But anyways, that's not why I'm making this video. I'm making this video solely because prior to watching this, I actually watched Louis Marco's videos. In fact, I watched them yesterday on the gorilla wear pictures that were released. And, I feel that it's a great injustice to make assessments. And, it's all good because that's what Louis Marco does. I mean, he's almost like a bodybuilding journalist at this point. I guess he's the best we can do in terms of bodybuilding, professional bodybuilding journalism. Then we have John Romano and Dave Palumbo and other great credible sources. But I think, the youth and the younger guys would rather watch Louis Marco's videos pertaining to bubble guts and sensationalism in bodybuilding. So no offense to that. Louis does have some good videos. I watch him. He's entertaining, not knocking him. However, I feel that his assessment of Kevin Levrone was, somewhat right at some point, talking about he might bring a streamlined look, but not very accurate in terms of, how this approach is going to take place. Now, if you read between the lines, Kevin's been saying this all along. He is bringing the conditioning of a 90s bodybuilder. He is going to represent his era, and his era will be representing versus today's bodybuilding era. It's quite simple. I think Kevin is going to bring the package that he's brought in the past. I don't care if it's big Kevin, little Kevin. I would assume it's a more conditioned Kevin because he's really aiming for conditioning. And again, I mentioned it in this video and when I was discussing it with him, he's going to come in, conditioned differently than we've seen the past couple of years. Like he's going to have a different shape than the guys that we've seen. And I know a lot of you younger guys, even probably friends of mine who compete, some of you at a higher level, I know you're doubting this, and I know you're asking the question or asking questions about how this is, even a factor, because from your perspective, the guys of today are still coming in equally as conditioned. And I have seen some pros very conditioned, and I agree that conditioning is still present in today's bodybuilding. I just think the level of graininess and whatnot, Kevin wants to bring it to the next level. So let's see what he has to offer there. I really think this is the emphasis. I'm trying to straighten out this camera. This is the emphasis of his comeback. Let's compare apples and oranges and see, what is more aesthetically pleasing. Now, in terms of conditioning versus size, there's no hard and fast rule as to who will win an Olympia. I just want to say in most shows, conditioning is a huge factor. Now, of course, you need to meet all three criteria. You need the size, you need conditioning, and you need the symmetry, so the aesthetics. So the guy with the best aesthetics, I would say size is the least important. And this is what I usually tell guys, especially when you're doing a regional show. Olympia, size becomes more important because you're at that caliber where all the guys are actually big. So you've really got to outdo them on every level. However, there are exceptions. Now, think about this, guys. What did Rami place last year? How friggin' big is Rami? Rami is a monster. Now, Rami came in at like 316, and Aceto said, if this guy dialed in, he would be freaking unbeatable. I think John Romano said it too in an interview recently. When he puts it all together, forget it, game over. It's like, in my mind, it's like looking at Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman didn't have it together at one point, and then it's a famous story about him asking for tips. And I think that really pertains to, and he talked about Kevin Levrone telling him to drink wine before the show. Now, really, as much little credit as people give Ronnie, I think Ronnie, when he tells these little parables, he's doing it intentionally. And he's dumbing things down so that people don't really understand what he's saying, because he really doesn't want to give his trade secrets away. But I think, in essence, what Ronnie says when he talks about Flex Wheeler and Kevin Levrone and how they helped him get conditioned, and ever since then, he's been unstoppable. What he really says, or what he's really saying, these stories, these parables, is that these guys taught me how to get lean. Schwarzenegger had the same freaking problem. Schwarzenegger was a huge guy. Nobody had seen him. Comes from Europe. And Frank Zane is kicking his ass left, right, and center. And Frank Zane is a skinny, ectomorphic. No offense to Zane fans. I mean, he's not skinny. But compared to Schwarzenegger, he was a different build. And Frank Zane is killing him in the contest, Mr. Universe. I think it was Mr. Universe when he came in. And Schwarzenegger had to learn from the Americans how to get conditioned proper. And once he did, it was game over. So Ramy might be the same thing, but we're not talking about Ramy in this video. We're talking about how Ramy can easily place top, under top or 6 and over, when he is the freakiest, craziest, biggest looking guy. And he's aesthetic. And boom, he still doesn't place top 5. A guy like Dexter Jackson, and I guarantee you Dexter Jackson is like 230 pounds. Correct me if I'm wrong, people, if you know Dexter's weight. Dexter is not a massive dude. In fact, I think he's genetically gifted because he looks crazy aesthetic. And let's look at Kevin Levrone this way. I think Kevin will be comparable to a Dexter Jackson in every shape and form. In every aspect. Age, conditioning, size. Dexter brings a consistent package. This is the thing about Dexter. Kevin will bring the best package he can bring. There's no doubt. Can he beat Dexter Jackson? I think he could. I think anything's possible. So by Louis not including him in the top 10, I think that was a huge understatement. I wanted to get the Gorilla Wear pictures up. Oh, by the way, guys, Gorilla Wear Canada, I'm a rep. If you need any clothes, let me know. Just a little plug. That being said, so I got off track there. But what I was saying is that, Kevin can do just about anything. I'm rooting for him. And Louis Marco, I think in this top 10 Olympia list he just set up as a video. I don't completely agree, but that's his prerogative. I mean, that's his opinion and that's his assessment, and that's fair. Like I said, Louis is one of our finest bodybuilding journalists at this point. And everybody loves his channel, including myself. He's entertaining. So, Kevin, thanks for the shout out. Loving what you're doing, man. Thank you for providing me with the motivation to actually think about, potentially competing again, despite some setbacks I've had. Kevin, you've taught me that, no matter what, as long as you believe in yourself, you can do anything you set your mind to. And that, it's all in the hands of whatever greater power there is. And I think it all comes from within as well. What we put in is what we'll get out. And Kevin, you've been a great motivator. You probably won't see this video, but people who are watching Kevin, I know you feel the same way. Like, this guy's insanely motivating. Shout out to the guys at Gold's Gym Calgary for helping my wife out. I guess she did some shopping for me. Thanks a lot if you're watching. I know you guys linked up on my social media and whatnot. You guys have an awesome supplement store, and I wish you well. Okay, so let's geek out on the Olympia and then continue these videos. You guys write, tell me what you think, and let's have a dialogue about this. Let's have a conversation. Kind of a big deal. Videos, Paul. Biceps are shrinking, I think. Peace.